Hi everyone, this is Dina, the Nightly Stitcher, and this is Flosstube 23. It is September 26th, 2023, and I am so hot, I apologize, but I've been trying to run around and get all of this stuff gathered up, because I thought if I don't get this done today, it's probably not going to happen for a while longer. It's already been like 6 weeks. So I thought I really need to get this done. Steve is down with his brother at the senior center, and his brother's playing pool, and he's watching. If any of you watched or looked on my Instagram yesterday, he has to have another shoulder replacement. So I'll get into that in a little bit. I do want to thank everybody that stuck with me through all this delay or just not getting my floss tubes up every 2 weeks. So I really appreciate you sticking with me, and I hope you will continue. Keep trying to get back on a schedule, but it's been really hard this summer. It seems like we've had one thing or another, and I just can't get things pulled together. But anyway, I have a lot of things to show you today. I've been doing my cross stitch as usual, because that's my #1 love. And then what else have I been doing? I've been doing some knitting and some piecing on some quilts, so when I got some time. So anyway, and I did make a few project bags in the last few days. So anyway, like I said, I wanted to thank everybody that has stuck with me. If you're new here, excuse me. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoy what you see. I stitch a lot of kind of a little bit of everything. I like stitch some of the newer patterns. I have tons of older patterns because as I have said before, I worked in a cross-stitch shop back in the 80s and 90s. I think until 2006 is when I moved on to another job. But I worked in a cross-stitch shop for 24 years. So, and I did all their custom framing. So I have tons of old patterns that are out of print, and I like to stitch on my old patterns that I've never gotten to, and I like to stitch on new ones that I really like. So anyway, there's a combination of everything. I love samplers. I love holiday, although I don't seem to be decorating like I used to for holiday. I used to go all out for holidays. This year, it's been a bust. I haven't decorated for any holiday. It's just been too hard. I don't have my fall out. And with Steve having surgery Thursday, I probably am not going to get my fall out. I don't know about Halloween. I have as much Halloween as I have Christmas, which is lots and lots. But we'll see what I can do. I would love to get it out because I love looking at it. So we don't have that many people that stop by, just the kids, but our kids. But anyway, maybe I can get a little bit of it out. This is Tootie sporting her new dress. As everybody knows, little Toot. She's my little 3.5-pound baby girl. And this is a dress that I had made for Emmy, who we lost in 2019. And was just a devastating loss for me. So we got Tootie, and she is a toot, as I've said before. She is just very strong-headed, but she's my little baby. But this was a little dress I had made Emmy, and it's too big for Tootie, so I adjusted it the other day so it fits her, so she can now wear that little dress. But anyway, she wanted up here. I don't know. She may lay down. She may waller me. But anyway, I was going to explain what had been going on with Steve's shoulder. As I said, I put it on Instagram yesterday. It was 1 month yesterday that he had a shoulder replacement. He had fallen down the steps. We had gone to StitchCon. we'd pull our camper to take our dogs. On the last day when we were getting ready to leave, he fell down our camper steps carrying the trash out. And when he did, his shoulder went back and he damaged his shoulder to the point that when we got back and went to the orthopedic doctor here in our area, the Columbia Orthopedic Group that we go to, they said his shoulder was injured so bad that he was going to have a replacement. So they did the replacement a month ago yesterday. Was doing great. He was not taking too many pain pills. He said it really didn't hurt all that much. He was doing great. But last Thursday, we were going to Columbia, and we were partway over there. He was driving my car. I have a little Mustang. So he was driving my car, and he said, he kind of made a noise and said, "I think my shoulder just popped out." Well, he said it was hurting really, really bad, and partway over there, we pulled into a gas station, and he had to get out for a few minutes. And then we went on over and did all of our stuff and came back, and that was on Thursday. So he kind of just babied it over the weekend to see if, it was just a little one-time thing and was going to be gone. So on Monday, he was still in so much pain, he couldn't sleep in the bed. He'd sleeping in his recliner. So on Monday, he called the doctor, and I think I'm wrong. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. He called the orthopedic group, and they wanted to see him. So we went this past Monday, yesterday, and they put it back in place. They x-rayed it first, and the doctor said yes, it was out of place, and he was going to try to put it back in. So they laid him down on the table, put his shoulder back in, and sent him down to the x-ray room, and when he was walking down the hall, it popped out again. He can feel it when it pops out. So they x-rayed again. Sure enough, it was popped out. So they came back in and said the only option was to go in there and change some parts out. From what we understand, the piece that goes in the bone up in the shoulder and in the arm will stay, but they're gonna change out the ball and the socket so that the ball is a little bit bigger and the socket covers more of the ball. So that's what we have in store on Thursday. So they're going to go back in the same incision they already made from the first one, and he's starting all over again, which I feel really bad for him. But the doctor said it happens to men more than women. It doesn't usually happen to women because men tend to overdo too soon, which is what I think he did. He was feeling so good that he thought he could do more than what he was supposed to be doing. So anyway, yeah, so he's going to have that on Thursday. So we're starting over from scratch, and we'll see how it goes this time. I hope it works. He's been miserable, so I hope this works. He's had to sleep in his chair. He tried sleeping in the bed one night, and he got up the next morning, and his hand and arm was swollen really bad. So he went back to his recliner, and he slept the last 2 nights in his, he slept all the rest of the time in his chair, in his recliner. So I'm sure he's getting tired of sleeping in the recliner instead of the bed. So anyway, yeah, that's what we have. So anybody that would like to say a little prayer for him, I'd appreciate it. Hopefully he'll have better results this time around. So anyway, let's get on to some stitching. I have done some stitching, but I've also done some knitting and some piecing of my quilts. I was going to show you my August. I know I've probably missed some months on my planner, but I think I have laid my glasses down somewhere, and I have to have them. Hold just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I was sitting on them. So anyway, as you all know, oops, that page is falling out. as you all know, I have this blue sky planner that I buy from Amazon. I still have stuff falling out, oh well. But this is my planner. I write down the projects that I have, that I've worked on for the day, and how many stitches I've done. And then at the end of the month, I total them up. I have total stitches for the month, the number of starts I have, the number of finishes I have, and the number of projects I work on, and how many days I ended up stitching that month. So on the days I didn't stitch, I will write did not stitch on that square, so in red. So that doesn't mean I didn't do something. I could have been piecing quilts or making project bags or knitting or something. This is only for my cross stitch. So occasionally I've wrote down that I knitted, but I don't usually keep up on it very good. But anyway, last month I did 5,957 stitches, which is very, very low for me. I am usually a lot higher than that. I didn't have any starts. I haven't started anything for so long. I really want to concentrate on these projects I've got going. I've got about 30, a little bit over 30 projects, and I'm really concentrating on trying to get some of those down because I've had them for so long. And I did have one finish, and I am very pleased about that. I have one FFO, if you can believe that. So we're gonna look at all that. But anyway, let me show you what I had as far as an FFO. I wanna get this out of the way right quick before I forget. I had someone that contacted me, and she had watched one of my older videos, and it was one where I had my patriotic parade, or whatever you want to call it, and she saw this design, and she asked me if I knew what the name of it was or who it was by. I have looked the internet over, and I cannot find it to help her out, but it's this one here. It's Freedom, and then it has, what does that say? I'm trying to look backwards with no glasses. God Bless America, and then I have 9/11/2001 in the middle of the Pentagon. So we have the Twin Towers and the Pentagon. And she would like to find this pattern, and like I said, I have looked and looked and looked, and I have not been able to find it on the internet, and I don't have this pattern any longer. There's been a time back when I was first stitching that I didn't keep my patterns after I stitched them. I do keep them now. I have for many years. So anyway, if anybody could help us out and would happen to know the name of that, I sure would appreciate if you could contact me so I can let her know what the name of this is, and maybe even the designer. So I did want to get that one. I wanted to make sure I got that one in so I could try to help her out a little bit. So anyway, I have a finish finally, and I had thought about, there's been so many things that I want to stitch, and I keep thinking I want to get them started. I've got new charts I bought, but I feel like when I'm working on projects, starting new ones, that's taking time away from the old ones. So I've really been working trying to get the old ones done. So this is one. This, however, is one I started last year. I started this October 3rd of 2022, and I finished it recently. And it's the Ouija board. Not FFO'd. I cannot tell you what fabric this is. It was just a piece I had in my stash. The pattern is by Cloud Factory. I got it off of Etsy. It's Cloud Factory, and it's just called Primitive Ouija Board. So if you're interested in that, they have some cute designs. So I did get that one finished. And I would like to get it FFO'd before Halloween, but who knows. This is my FFO, and I really enjoyed the way it turned out. I really like it. My daughter actually stitched this, and I'm going to try to do this for my screenshot. So my daughter actually stitched this many years ago. It's a pattern by Just Nan. It's called Witchy Way. And she had stitched it for me. It was in my under the bed box for many, many years. And I pulled it out the other day and I thought, I am going to get this finished. I bought this wooden tray and a set of 2 at Hobby Lobby, I believe, last year in the hopes of getting this finished, but I didn't do it. So anyway, I got this in their unfinished wood area. 2 different size trays. There's a smaller one than this. And so the other day I pulled it out. I cut my foam core board. I laced this piece on. I did a lot of adjusting. I think I put 2 layers of batting under it. Then I laced it on, and I have another piece of, this piece is mat board, just regular thin mat board, I believe it is. Let me scoot up just a little. Then I cut it out and then covered it with some cute little Halloween fabric. I glued everything together, and then after it set, I put some weight on it because it kept wanting to curl up, and so I put a bunch of weight on it to flatten it down and let it set overnight. And then these beads, I had gotten these for Christmas. They were strung, or they were not strung, they were loose beads that I got as a Christmas gift. I got some Halloween beads and some Christmas beads both, and I strung them on some jute. When I went to tie a knot in them, it wasn't going to work, so I ended up taking a little bit of glue, putting on the last bead, catching the jute, and let it dry, and then I cut it off flush with the bead, and then I did the same on the other end of the other bead. So then after that all dried, I went around and I ran a bead of glue on the bottom piece and on the edge of this. This is actually recessed just a bit. So I found out that by just putting the glue on the fabric part here, it still was not secure enough. You could move this. You could move the beads. So I went back through and I put some tacky glue on I pulled it out just a bit and put the tacky glue in between, and then wiped all this off with a wet cloth to get the glue off so it didn't show. There's also, if you can see, I'm not going to be able to see, I don't think very good. There's also a cute little witch charm that came with it. I'm assuming it came with it. I don't know. It's been so long ago that I don't know if you had to buy the witch charm, but Just Nan's pretty good about including the charms with her patterns. So anyway, that is my fully finished Witchy Way by Just Nan. This is actually done on 10 count Heatherfield. Also, I forgot to mention that. It's 10 count Heatherfield. So anyway, that is my FFO of the day. And probably for a long time yet. I'm not very good at FFOing. I have tons of stuff to do. I have a stack on my sewing machine table, and they're mostly summer that I had pulled out to try to finish for this summer, and I didn't get any of them done. So anyway, on to my whips. So what I have been working on, this is going to be what I've been working on since my last Flosstube, which was August the 15th, I believe. I worked on Let Freedom Ring for a while, I hope the glare is not too bad. Last time I sat down here in the living room, I had this blind up, and I know you all noticed, I certainly noticed when I watched it back, it was too much light coming in. So I pulled it. I have a window over here, and I have a light, another big lamp on. So hopefully the light is good today. And my clock is going off. So this is Let Freedom Ring by Leela's Studio. Several people have been stitching on this. I love this piece. I really enjoy it. I wish I could stitch on it more, but I have not. My piece is, I have a needle sticking through there. That's not good. Hold on just a second. I think it came off my magnet. So I keep, if you've watched my previous videos, I have taken old pillowcases that my mom had embroidered. I cut them down to fit my scroll frames. I just take a little piece of muslin, real simply write Let Freedom Ring on it, and I pin it on there. So nothing fancy. But this is what I have gotten done. I went across the top, and I'm not going to unroll this because there's not much down here except for down below here. Actually, there, if you can see, there's a little red flower right here. That's the last of it. So I got this vine stitched. I did some of the over one wording. I got the green in this. I had everything in this except for the dark green, and I didn't have it, so I had to order some skeins of it. So I got it in. Went across here more. I had done some of this border, but I extended it on over. I did the top part of Independence Hall. It's not finished, as you can see. I believe I did the flag and the birds since you saw it last time. So I made some really good progress on this. I wanted to, at the start of the year, I wanted to do 5 days on a project and then change. And I like stitching on different projects, but I don't like changing real often. I get into stitching on them, and I get to making such good progress that I like to see the advancement of what I'm getting done. So I really like to stay on it. I originally had thought about last year about doing 3 days on a project and changing. Well, I found out 3 days was not long enough. So this year I was going to do 5 days on a project. And I found out 5 days isn't long enough either. So what I've been doing is just stitching now until I get tired of it, and then I move on to another one. So if it's very detailed, it could be 5 days, could be 3 days, could be a week. I don't know. It just depends. If it's very tedious, it might be 3 days. If it's not, it could be 5 days, could be a week or two. Never know. So my current whip that I'm working on right now, I'm working so hard on this, is Halloween Hijinks by Carolyn Manning. And I started this, Stitch Brat. She had taken this pattern last year and broke it down into 12 sections and did a salve with it. I already had mine started. I think the top row and part of this row and a section of the little squares up here done. So I jumped on the bandwagon and thought, well, I'll just do the same thing. I'll just work ahead and see if I can't get it done. And if we did it the way she had it planned, we would all have them done by the 1st of October of this year. And I was doing really good until May, and May fizzled out, got behind. June, I stayed behind. July, I stayed behind, and August, I stayed behind. I've been working really, really hard on this. I am so excited to be so close to a finish. I'm not going to unroll it because I'm currently working on it, and it's on my lap frame, and I don't want to undo everything. But this is where I'm at. And as you can see, I just have a few right in here to finish up. there is so much white. After I looked at my pattern, there is so much white in this section down here. There's a lot of color too, but there's a lot of white. These 3 blocks of white here will have 2 spiders in it and then a bunch of back stitching for spider web. So I decided, since there was so much white, I could not do it all at one time, and I had been completing each little square as I went, and I got bored with that, so I had to change it up, and I'm doing just different colors whenever I feel like it in different squares. So basically from this square here, this gray square, over to this candy corn and down is what I'm working on right now. And I think in the next few days I should have this finished up. So I would love to be able to finish by the October deadline. And I think I might make this into either a flat fold or a pillow. I'm not sure. I don't think I want it framed. But anyway, I am so excited to get that done that I've been working really hard on it. And it is, did I mention it was by Carolyn Manning? I think I did. That is done on an 18 count that I dyed myself. So, let's see, anything else I need to say? I did use the DMCs. If it called for anything else, I did use the DMCs. I forgot to mention that in the Let Freedom Ring. I am using the called for, I believe, I lost my pattern. Let me look at my pattern again. Yeah, I just don't remember. And I've lost my pattern, so it really doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know where I put my pattern. But I'm just out of whack. I'm doing these videos partly. I kept running around the house this morning thinking, what else have I done? What else have I done? And I have a basket that I put stuff in. But sometimes if I buy something or whatever, I've had something out, I forget to put it in the basket. I just go put it away, and then it's like, oh shoot, I forgot. I got to go dig that one back out. So that's kind of what I was doing this morning, was digging out some stuff I had already put away. So anyway, the next one that I have been working on, and I didn't do a lot with it. This was one of those that I was working on, and then I decided I wanted to get started on that Halloween hijinks again and try to get it knocked out. But it is by Twin Peaks Primitive. It's Peacock Sampler. I bought this at Galleria last year. I fell in love with that pink house and those peacocks and, well, just about everything on it. This was my New Year's Day start, and I just love this piece. I have, let me look on my tag and see if I wrote down what fabric I'm using. No, of course not. Okay, I've got it all piled up here around me. And again, I didn't want to take it off of this. So this is what I have done. I finished this little, whatever this little red thing is here. I think I went across the top here a little bit, and I think I might have put the W in. I did not work on this for very long at all, but I just love this piece. I did dye this fabric. I believe it's either a 32 or a 36 count linen, but I did dye it with a very, very light touch of blue. I didn't want it very much, just enough that would tone down that white. So that's what I have done on Peacock Sampler by Twin Peaks Primitive. So I'm going to have to adjust things, or I'm going to have a really big mess. We're going to have a really big crash is what we're going to have. Okay. Let me put this back in my bag. So let's see. Next that I worked on, and this again is another one that I really love. It's called Elizabeth Penn Pitkins. 1836. It's from the Heart, Needle Art by Wendy. I bought this a couple of years ago when we were in Gulf Shores, Alabama. And I started it, let me look. I started this July 13th of 2022. I think I might have bought it right before that. We were down there in the spring. So I bought enough material to do all three of these. The little scissor fob, this little, I think it's a note. Well, no, it says mini sampler, and then the big one. The big one is what I'm working on right now. So this is how far I've gotten on it. Let me pull it out. I made really good progress on this. I converted all of the, oh, I'm not going to be able to loosen that up and unroll it, so I'm sorry. But this border is the same up here, so you can kind of get an idea. But I was really making some great headway on this, and then I moved on to something else. But I started this as my birthday start last year. Let me look. Yes, it was my birthday start from 2022, which would have been 7/7/2022 would have been my start date, but my actual start date was 7/13 of 22 because Steve and I both had COVID over my birthday and 4th of July. So I didn't feel like stitching until the 13th, and I got it started then. But anyway, what I was going to say, the fabric is Flannel Flower by Fox and Rabbit, and I bought enough of this to do all three pieces. I love this color. I will definitely be buying more of this Flannel Flower. And then I pulled all the DMC colors and I converted them to Splendor Silk. If you've not stitched with Splendor Silk by Rainbow Gallery, you need to try it. I love stitching with Splendor Silk. Let me show you the colors. These are the colors I'm using. And I just love stitching with these. I slowly am trying to get the entire collection. I have 2 big rings of their silks right now, and I keep adding to it. But it's 100% silk, 12 ply, 8 yards, hand washable, made in France. So anyway, yes, if you want to try some nice silks, I like these very much. So I did, like I said, I took the DMC, laid it out, and converted it to the Splendor Silk. And this is let me look. I think this is a 36 count. Let me see if I put it on my tag. I have new tags and I'm trying to add more information to them. Yes, this is a 36 count Flannel Flower by Fox and Rabbit using Splendor Silks. Okay, on to my next one. And actually with Elizabeth Penn Pitkins, and what was the other one I did? Peacock Sampler. I had picked out Mary 395. I went through and picked out several samplers towards the end of August that I wanted to do Sampler September. I participated last year a little bit, and I wanted to do it. Well, I picked out samplers, and then I got onto this Halloween hijinks, and I just want to get it done, so my Sampler September fizzled out. So I never follow plans very well, as you can tell. So this is Mary 395. You've seen this before. It's a Bristol sampler. There's lots of Bristol samplers by Hands Across the Sea. I am working on Mary 395 because it was done in 1869. And we live in an old colonial style house that was built in 1869. So I wanted this to be hanging on the wall someday. Someday, who knows? But I would like to have it hanging on the wall. To think that Mary was stitching it while my house was being built. So, let me unroll it. I can unroll this one enough. This is what I have done on it. This is on 40 count. And I don't know what color because I didn't write it down. But I have A to I, X to whatever that is. I'm looking at it backwards. I was going to try to tell you, but I think you see it better than I do. So I've been working down through here, and that's where I stopped. So I got a little bit done on her, but not a lot. And I would like to get some more done on this one. But my whole sampler September just did not go as planned. My last whip that I've worked on since my last video was by Lola Crow. This is called Happy Haunting. I bought this from her on Etsy. Let me see which way it goes. There. So it's this fun purple house. It's got ghosts all over it. I made really good progress. The only thing I have, I think, now to do, I quit stitching on it a while back. And the only thing I have to do is I have to finish up right down here along the bottom. As you can see, well, can't look at both at once. Okay, you can see there's a couple of rows of black that run across the bottom. And then I have to finish that. And then I have outlined the ghost in the blue that it calls for. I did do this in called for colors. The ghosts have not been stitched, but what I am going to do is stitch the ghost in glow in the dark. So I think that'll be really fun to have the ghost all in glow in the dark. There's a bunch of ghosts. Let me see, I can roll this one. There. The ghosts are up above the house, in their attic, in the upstairs, and in the downstairs. There's a lot of ghosts there. And as much as I hate stitching white, this one is going to get boring. I should have stitched them as I went, but I didn't want to get that glow in the dark out until I was really ready for it. So that is all of my whips. And then what I have, let me look here, what I have been doing, well, here, let's do haul. I got, which some people have showed this already. This is the Fall Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. Had some very cute designs in it this time, as they always do. I don't do punch needle. I don't need another hobby, so I just refuse to take on a new craft. So, but it's probably about 50-50 in cross stitch and punch needle, which I think is it's very nice of them. Wait, what did I just see that was so cute? Here. Isn't that cute? That is by, who's that by? Teresa Miller, of Teresa's Primitive Treasures. She does have an Etsy shop. So, anyway, like I said, there's another really pretty cross stitch. They have cute primitive, or punch needle, but another cross stitch. But that's punch needle. I just don't need another hobby. I have 2 rooms upstairs, 2 bedrooms that are nothing but my sewing room and my quilting room. So, yeah, I'm done with starting new hobbies. Look at this guy. That's punch needle. So, anyway, I got that in the mail. I ordered this one from 123 Stitch. I'd been waiting for it to come back in, and I don't know if you know, if you're ordering on 123 Stitch, I'm gonna have to get a drink just a second. Okay, I wanted this a while back, and it was out of stock. But there is a spot on 123 Stitch that you can click notify me, and you put your email in, and when they get it in, you'll get an email that says it's back in stock. And I had waited on this for a good while. So it's All Hallows Eve by the Calico Confectionery. I have several of their designs now, and this one I think is very cute, and I don't think that would take long to stitch at all. Let me move it up. Okay, over here. It's very cute. Okay, this one I saw, I don't remember where I first saw it. I just saw a picture of it. And then I saw somebody else stitching it. And I had it in my cart on 123 Stitch, but I just kept debating over buying another big pattern because I keep saying I'm not buying large designs, but I seem to be attracted more to large designs. So anyway, I finally just thought, okay, I'm going to order these others. I'm going to go on and get it. I haven't started it yet, but this is one I would love to start very soon. This is called Goldbird Sampler by Twin Peak Primitives, and it's this right here. I just love it. Twin Peaks has a way about their colors and their layout. I love this piece. So I can't wait to get it started. It says it is done on 14 count Aida natural or 28 count linen. This says Waggart Brittany Lugana is what it says. It's 202 by 252, so it's pretty good size. It's calling for DMCs only, but it is so pretty. That is not a quickie one. I got, which a lot of people have gotten these, the Christmas Ornament magazine. And let me show you this. Yeah, this one here. This is the one I would love to do very first thing. And I keep holding, like I said, I'm holding off doing anything because I want to get some of these older ones started or finished. So I like the owl over here. So anyway, I did get that in the mail. And then from 123 Stitch, I have Ink Circle's Big Red Ship of Life started. I haven't worked on it this year. It was in my whip parade after the first of the year, but I haven't worked on it yet. Not going to get through all 30 of them this year. There's just no way. So some of them will go untouched this year. But anyway, I am working on the Big Red Ship of Life, and I got this one. I decided I wanted them all. Although they're all big and a lot of stitching, I still want them all. So this one is called, there was a Big Red Ship of Life, a medium sized one, a small one. All right, let me go this. This one is the small one. It's called the Comparatively Small Red Ship of Life. And there is that one. So I bought that, and then they came out with another one that is called The Least of the Fleet. So the only one I don't have is the medium Ship of Life. And 123 Stitch did not have it listed. So I'm assuming they're not carrying that anymore. But I did look on Ink Circle's website, and they do have it. So I may just have to order it directly from her or from Ink Circles. I was just thinking if I could get it through 123 Stitch, I'd just add it to my order. So I'd still like to find that one. Okay, that is pretty much all the stitching. It is all the stitching. I do have my flea market finds. We went to Goodwill yesterday on the way back into town, and I found a scroll rod. This was like $4 and something. I think it's probably a 12-inch. So I keep thinking, okay, another scroll rod, that means I can start another project. And it's like, no, 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 no. I am not starting another project. Cannot start another project. And several of you know the milk glass, the small ones that have the little lips, or whatever you call these little rings along the edge that you can put your scissors in. Well, my husband found this one. It's really big. I don't know what it was used for, but he got this for me. And I have lots and lots of scissors, and I've got them in the little holes of the others upstairs. So now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this one. So I did get that. And this he picked up. He had stopped at a garage sale, and I thought this was super cute. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with it. It's dusty. It's really dusty. It has little cubbies in it, and each one of them are marked with the month. And it's a little metal plate. So he picked this up for me. He said he thought I could use it for something, and I said it would be so cute with some little, very small little pillows in there, I think. So I don't know. I like to do monthly things. I have a flowers of the month, and I think there's pretty small. I thought that would be cute in there, but these little things are falling. Oh, it's a little protective piece for keeping the little name thing from falling off. But anyway, I thought that was cute. I think he gave up 50 cents or something like that for it. So I have that, and that is nope, we're not done yet. I forgot. This is my daughter and I went to a library sale. It's been about 3 weeks ago, and I bought a bunch of books, just fiction books, but I did find this one down Santa Claus Lane, and it's by Leisure Arts. It is called, let me look here, down Santa Claus Lane. I love their old time photos, but I didn't know if they had, let me show you some of them. The patterns are all in the back, so it's, I'm not going to be showing anything. But I found this, so I grabbed it. I've got a lot, there's some stockings. This one is very cool. It's called Humble Visitor. I have a lot of the Leisure Arts books. I have a lot of the Better Homes and Garden books. Look at that one. This is called All American Celebration. So it's kind of more of a patriotic Santa. And I think I give like $1 for it. I didn't give much at all. Enter with a happy heart. They're Santas. Nobody can do Santas to me like Leisure Arts. They've always been so good with their Santas. So anyway, down Santa Claus Lane, if you're interested, you can probably find it somewhere on the secondary market. So that is all the cross stitch. I'll move on to what I have been doing. Let's see. I made some project bags last week, and I'm going to try to get some more made and get them in my shop, my Etsy shop. They are not in there yet, but if you're interested, check it out. It's called Dina's Sewing Room. I don't usually show my projects I made on here because I feel like I'm not sure how to say this. I feel I'm not good at self-promoting. Let me just say that. It's like, yeah, I make project bags and that's about it. But I'm seeing a lot of people that are self-promoting. So it's like, okay, I maybe it's not so bad to do that after all on my Flosstube. So I did make this. I love this fabric. This is one of them I made. I took the lining of, it's a vinyl front. I only make vinyl front project bags. And this is the back. I absolutely love this. I've got to make one for myself because I love the witch's face. She is so funny. But I will be putting these in my shop on Etsy, or in Etsy. I made 2 of them. I thought this was funny when I was finishing this one. Well, they're both about the same. This one is pushing the bottle, but this one looks like she's pushing the side of the bag. So I thought that was kind of funny. But I made 2 of these. They are 14 by 14. I know there's lots of different sizes. 14 by 14 is my favorite size, so that's what I make. I have a little more waist with directional fabric. If it's a one-way fabric, I have a little bit more waist. This is my fall bag that I made. I made 3 of these. Like I said, they're heavy-duty vinyl front. Very pretty pumpkin. Stitched across the inside of it. I put these tags on here that you can put all your information. I give you 2 tags. So I did, like I said, I did 3 of these. So they're going to be going in my shop. So if you're interested in them, and I have a lot of Halloween fabric that is stacked up. I have some ready to, I have some cut out. I just haven't started on them, and I have more to make. So if you're interested, again, like I said, it's Dina's Sewing Room on Etsy, and I will put the link in the description box below, along with my email and Instagram. So that's what I have been working on. I have done some knitting since the last time. I made a pair of socks. I have really been on this sock making kick. So I did this. This is such a nice soft sock. I don't know the brand of the yarn that I used, but I made those. I just finished these a couple of days ago. They're so soft. But I've been buying different brands and trying them, and so far I haven't found any that I don't like other than the Patons. I think it's called Croy. It's from Joann's. I have made some out of it, but I don't like it as well. It's a lot cheaper than what this other yarn is, and I like of course, I like the more expensive yarn. I decided I was going to start making some stocking hats. I made a brown one, I think, that I showed you. I made this one off the same pattern. I wanted to do something different, so I thought I'm going to make some stocking hats, and then when it gets closer to winter, I'm just going to donate them to somebody. But this was a fun one to knit. I thought the colors came out good in it. I did a couple of baby hats, and my daughter mentioned like the hospitals will take these as donations for their babies. So I have this one done, and I have this. This is the preemie. Look how tiny it is. That's my hand in there. But I thought it was funny because these are the same yarns. And this one striped up like this, but this one being so much smaller, the colors kind of went together. You know, they just all kind of, it was just so much different than this one that's more of a striped. But anyway, and they have these cute little baubles on the top. So I've been knitting on those. It's been so nice out that I've been taking um, my featherweight sewing machine out on the back porch. We have a screen in back porch, and I've been taking my featherweight out there. I was at Joann's a while back, and they had a 3-tiered cart, and I have one upstairs in my sewing room that I use, but this one was black, and they had it on sale, and so I thought I'm gonna buy that and put my stuff that I take out on the back porch in it. So I have my featherweight in the top um, tier, and then I put other stuff in the next 2 tiers. Now, this last week, I guess it was, or yeah, it was last week. If you look at my Instagram post, the bottom tier of this 3-tier tray, Tootie was in it on a towel and was sleeping. So I said, I guess the 3rd tier, the bottom tier of this 3-tier tray is for your dog to sleep in instead of storing your stuff in. So she liked it, and she stayed out there all day with me. So anyway, what I've been working on out there, these are scrap squares. These are 6 2-inch squares that I'm sewing together. They've all been cut individually, which I know there's a trick. That's not a trick. I know how to do it, but where you can sew strips together and then cut your 2-inch strips. But I sew each one of these together, and then some of them have been ironed and some of them haven't. But then I decided, I think I'm gonna put a black edging around it, sashing, and then sew them together that way. So right now I am going through, and as you can see, some of these fabrics are very, very old. They came from my mom's fabric stash. So if you can see, some of them are very old designs, but this is what I like. It's a lot of my mom's scraps and a lot of my scraps. So I'm sewing rows together right now. I'm sewing 2 rows together, and then once I get them together, I'll go back with 3 of these and sew them together to make a block. So as you can see, that's kind of why I haven't gotten as much cross stitching done. I did go outside and stitch in the yard yesterday for a while with my lap stand. I stitched on Halloween hijinks. The last thing I have to show you is when my daughter and I went to the book sale at the library, I found some quilt books. And the last library sale we went to, I went to the fiction section first, and I never could get over to the quilt books, right away, because there were so many people there. I got done looking through, quickly went through the fiction section, and I thought, I'm going to go look at quilt books or cross-stitch books, whatever, in the craft area. I never could get up there to look. There were so many people looking at them. So a lot of them are resellers, which kind of irritates me, because they go in there and I don't need emails saying I shouldn't say this, because I'm going to say what I want on my channel. But people that resell these books, they're in there with their phones just zapping and throwing them in carts, And you don't even get a chance as an individual to look for these. So that's kind of a hot topic with me, but like I said, I'm going to say what I want. I just don't think it's right when individuals want to go in and buy books for their own use and to read, and you've got resellers that are taking shopping carts and filling them up as fast as they can so that they can sell them. And if you want to sell them, that's fine. I don't care. But I think the individual should be able to have the opportunity to look first. So anyway, up front, Northern Comfort. This is one of the books I got. Let me see if I can find any. Oops. Well, here. I'm going to have to do it this way. It's just not going to pan out. That is all flying geese. It was a cool book. It talks a lot about quilts. Let me look at that red and white one. Um, oh, let's see. It just talks a lot about quilts, and it shows some of the older quilts. There's some old original quilts. My daughter's texting me. I hope that doesn't show up on the screen, because that means I would have to scrap this. This is Northern Comfort, New England's early quilts, 1780 to 1850. So I bought that one, and all their books were $1 a piece. So I just thought that was a heck of a buy. This is 101 fabulous rotary cut quilts, and that is a thick book, and I only paid $1 for it. Whoops, that's got a note. To Mother from Teresa. Ooh. So anyway, lots of patterns and instructions. So I got that one, and then I got this one. It's a Thimbleberries block by block to beautiful quilts. And again, like I said, only $1. Oh, that one would be nice for right now. I don't know where it went, but it had pumpkins on it. There. It's pretty. That one's cute. So anyway, I bought those along with a bunch of just fiction books. And I think I bought one on Eleanor Roosevelt. I like biographies, autobiographies. So I think I bought a couple of those. That's about it. Well, that is it. I don't know of anything else to show you. I hope this wasn't too much of a mishmash, but that's the way I do things. So I have no real order. I do what I want when I want. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back if you enjoyed it and would like to know when I put out another video. You can subscribe, and you can also hit the little bell, and that'll give you the notification when I do another video. Hopefully, I'm going to try to get back into these. I say this every time, so I don't know why I say it, but hopefully I'm going to get back into a routine of every couple of weeks. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it works out so well for me, but I would sure like to do it more often. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.